1. Introduction. My name is Brenda, and I am 41 years old. My life is very quiet and simple. I live on a small street in a small town. The houses here are not new, but they are nice. Most of them have pretty gardens with many flowers. My days are almost always the same. In the morning, I wake up early and have a cup of coffee. I sit by my kitchen window and watch the birds in my garden. Then, I go to my job at the town library. It is a peaceful place, and I like it very much. I help people find books and I keep the shelves organized. My neighbors are all very familiar to me. We say hello when we see each other. We talk about simple things like the weather or our plants. Nothing very exciting ever happens on our street. I have always liked this. My calm life feels safe and comfortable. I did not want anything to change. I was happy with my books, my garden, and the quiet sounds of my neighborhood. But one summer morning, everything started to feel different. It was a beautiful day in July. The sun was warm and the sky was blue. I was outside, giving water to my roses, when I heard a loud engine. A very big moving truck was coming down my street. This was very unusual. The truck was slow and noisy. It finally stopped in front of the house next door. That house was empty for almost 1 year. I put down my watering can and watched. I felt very curious about who my new neighbor would be. The driver's door of the truck opened, and a young man stepped out. He had dark, curly hair and kind eyes. He was wearing a simple shirt and jeans. He looked around at the quiet street, and then he smiled. It was a warm, friendly smile that made me feel strange. My heart suddenly started to beat very fast. It was a feeling I had not had for many, many years. He looked so young, maybe only a student. He saw me standing by the fence. He walked toward me. "Good morning," he said. His voice was nice and calm. "My name is Henry." I tried to act normal. "Hello, I'm Brenda," I replied. "Welcome to the neighborhood." He told me he was 24 years old and he came from the city. He wanted a more peaceful life. After he went back to the truck, I stood in my garden for a long time. A new feeling was inside me. My quiet world did not feel so quiet anymore. I knew something important was about to change. 2. Small talks become more. At first, our conversations were short and simple. We talked about normal, everyday things. We often met near the fence that separated our gardens. I would be watering my red roses, and he would be cutting his grass. "It's a beautiful day," he would say with that bright smile. I would always agree. We talked about the warm sun or the clouds that promised rain. These were easy, safe conversations, the kind you have with any neighbor. But even these small talks felt special to me. Every time Henry smiled, my stomach felt strange, like little butterflies were inside. It was a good feeling. His smile was so warm and kind, and it made me feel young again. I felt like I was 21, not a woman of 41. It was a happy, exciting feeling that I had not had in many years. I started to look forward to seeing him each day. Slowly, our 5-minute talks became 10-minute talks. He told me more about his life. He explained that he moved from the big city because it was too loud and busy. He wanted a quiet life and a peaceful place to think. He worked from home as a writer, so he could live anywhere he wanted. He chose our small street because it looked friendly. He was very happy to have a garden now. I listened to every word. I loved learning about the person he was. A part of my heart was very happy, but another part of me was worried. I kept telling myself to be careful. He is only 24 years old, Brenda, I thought. You are 17 years older. I was scared of what our neighbors would think. People on our quiet street liked to talk. What would they whisper about me? I tried to keep some distance. Sometimes, when I saw him outside, I would quickly go back into my house. I did not want to give them a reason to gossip. I was afraid of getting my heart hurt, but it was impossible to stay away from him. Every day, we found a new reason to talk. He asked for my advice about planting tomatoes. I asked him about the books he liked to read. Our daily conversations became the best part of my day. I felt an undeniable pull between us. It was strong, like a magnet, pulling us closer together. I tried to fight this feeling, but it was getting stronger. I knew something important was changing. Our small talks were becoming more. 3. A feeling grows strong. One warm evening, I was in my garden watering my plants. The sun was low in the sky, making everything look soft and golden. I saw Henry next door. He was trying to carry 3 big boxes from his car to his house. He walked slowly, and it was clear the boxes were very heavy. I put my watering can down and walked to the fence. "Do you need some help with those?" I asked. He looked up and gave me his warm smile. "Yes, please." "They are full of books," he said. I went over to his driveway to help. When I took the top box from him, our hands touched for a moment. It was a small touch, but my heart started to beat very fast. I felt my face get warm, so I looked down at the box. "Thank you, Brenda," he said. I just nodded and carried the box to his front door. We took the other 2 boxes inside together. After that, I went back to my quiet house, but my mind was not quiet at all. That night, I could not sleep. I just lay in bed thinking. I thought about the moment our hands touched. I could still feel it. I thought about his kind eyes and his easy smile. A happy feeling started to grow inside me, but it was mixed with fear. I was 41, and he was only 24. That was a difference of 17 years. I worried about what other people would say. I was also afraid of getting my heart broken. What if he was just being a friendly neighbor? I told myself to be careful. But in the days that followed, Henry started to visit more. He knocked on my door one morning with fresh bread he had baked. Another time, he noticed my garden gate was broken and he fixed it for me. He never asked for anything in return. We would stand and talk for a long time. He told me about his old life in the city and why he wanted a quiet place to live. With every visit and every smile, my secret hope grew. I started to think that maybe he felt something special, too. 4. Whispers start. Henry and I spent a lot of time together. He came to my house almost every day. We worked in my garden or sat on my porch and talked for hours. Our friendship was growing bigger and brighter. Our small, quiet street was not used to this. Soon, our neighbors started to watch us. From their windows, their eyes followed us when we were outside. Then, the whispers began. When I went to the local store for milk, I heard them. 2 women were talking quietly. "She is much older than him," one said. "It doesn't look right," said the other. Their words were like small stones that hurt my heart. I pretended I did not hear them and walked home with my head down. I felt sad and embarrassed. My happy feeling with Henry was now mixed with worry. One sunny afternoon, Henry came to my door with his warm smile. He did not seem to know about the whispers. "Brenda," he said, "it is a beautiful day. Do you want to get a coffee with me in town?" My heart jumped. Town was a public place where everyone would see us. I was scared. I wanted to say no and stay safe in my house. But I looked into his hopeful eyes and could not say no. "Yes," I said, "I would like that." The coffee shop in town was busy. We found a small table near a window. I felt nervous because I was sure everyone was looking at us. But Henry started telling me a funny story. Soon, I forgot my worries and was laughing with him. For 2 hours, we just talked. It felt so easy and right. I felt young and happy again. After a while, I noticed the stairs. A couple at another table was watching us. They were not smiling. An older woman walked past and gave me a cold look. The happy feeling started to go away. The whispers came back into my mind. Henry saw the worry on my face. He stopped talking and put his hand on mine. His touch was warm and strong. He smiled a serious smile. "Let them talk," he said quietly. His voice was firm. "I do not care what they think." I looked into his eyes. In that moment, everything was clear. He knew people were talking, and he was not afraid. He was with me, and that was all that mattered to him. A feeling of relief washed over me. I knew then that Henry felt the same way I did. 5. A difficult test. The happiness from our coffee date stayed with me for a long time. I felt light and hopeful. The whispers of the neighbors did not seem so important anymore. Henry and I were happy together, and I thought that was enough. But my new happiness did not last long. One evening, I was at home reading a book. It was quiet and peaceful. Suddenly, there was a knock on my door. It was late, so I was surprised to have a visitor. I opened the door and saw a young woman. She was about Henry's age, with long hair and eyes that looked right at me. She did not smile. "Hello," she said. "I am an old friend of Henry's. I was in town and wanted to meet you. Can I talk to you for a minute?" I felt a little nervous, but I invited her inside. She sat on my sofa and looked around my living room. "This is a nice place," she said, but her voice was cold. "Henry told me about you." She paused for a moment. "I need to be honest with you. Henry and I used to be together. We dated for a long time." My heart started to beat very fast. "He is a good man," the woman continued, "but he gets bored easily. He always looks for something new and exciting. I just don't want you to get hurt. He will break your heart." Her words were like cold water. All my old fears came back at once. The fear about our age difference, the fear of what people said, and the fear of getting my heart broken. A terrible, cold feeling grew inside me. I did not know what to say. I just nodded and waited for her to leave. After she was gone, I sat alone in the dark for hours. The next day, I asked Henry about her. He said they were only friends now and that their relationship was in the past. He seemed honest, but the woman's warning was a seed of doubt in my mind. For the next 2 days, I avoided him. I did not answer his calls. I stayed inside my house, feeling confused and scared. I thought that maybe this love was too dangerous for me. 6. The truth comes out. For 2 days, I stayed inside my house. The sky was gray, and a slow rain fell on my garden. My heart felt heavy and cold. The words of Henry's old friend repeated in my mind. Was our love a mistake? Was I going to get hurt? I did not answer my phone when Henry called. I did not open my door when he knocked. I was too scared to see him. I needed to think, but my thoughts were full of doubt. That night, the rain was harder. I was sitting in my living room when I heard a loud knock on the door. It was late. I was not expecting anyone. I looked through the small window. It was Henry. He was standing in the pouring rain without an umbrella. His dark hair was completely wet and his shirt was stuck to his skin. He looked very serious. I opened the door. "Brenda," he said. His voice was strong. "We need to talk, please." I let him come inside. He stood in my hallway and water dripped from his clothes onto the floor. I did not know what to say. "I know you are avoiding me," he started. "And I know why. It's because of her, isn't it?" He did not wait for my answer. "She came here to cause trouble. We dated a long time ago, but that was finished. For years, we were only friends, but she is not a good friend." He took a step closer. "She is jealous, Brenda. She saw that I was happy here. She saw that I was happy with you. She doesn't want me to move on. She told you lies because she wants to keep me for herself, even if she doesn't love me." He looked into my eyes. His own eyes were full of honesty. "What she said is not true. I do not care about her. I only care about you." He gently took my hand. His hand was cold from the rain, but his touch was warm. "And I do not care about your age. It means nothing to me. I like you because you are kind and smart. You make me feel calm and happy. That is the truth. All my fear and sadness started to melt away. I looked at him, standing there, wet and cold, just because he wanted me to know the truth. A weight left my chest. My heart felt light for the first time in 2 days. I believed him. I believed every word. "Henry," I said, and my voice was quiet. "I believe you." I went to get him a dry towel. The storm was over. 7, our love is clear. After Henry and I talked in the rain, everything changed. My fear was gone. The difficult questions in my mind were also gone. There was only our love. We did not want to hide our feelings anymore. We were a couple, and we wanted the world to know. The next weekend, we walked into town together. It was a beautiful, sunny day. For the first time, we held hands in front of everyone. Henry's hand felt warm and strong in mine. I saw some of my neighbors near the bakery. They stopped their conversations to look at us. Before, their stares made me feel small and afraid. But now I did not feel that way. I looked at Henry, and he gave me a warm smile. His smile was the only thing that was important. I smiled back at him. We were happy, and we did not care who saw us. The whispers did not stop completely. When we went to the small grocery store, I heard a woman say something to her friend. "He is so young for her," she said quietly. I held Henry's hand a little tighter. He heard the comment too, but he did not get angry. He just looked at me and asked, "Are you hungry? Let's buy some nice bread for dinner." He showed me that the words of other people did not matter. Our life was about us, not about them. His calm reaction made me feel strong. I was learning to ignore the noise. Our days became full of simple, happy activities. We spent many afternoons in my garden. Before Henry, it was just a quiet place for me. Now, it was our garden. We decided to plant new flowers together. We chose bright yellow and red flowers and planted them along the fence. We laughed when we got dirt on our clothes. One day, we planted 2 small trees near the back of the garden. Henry said, "These trees will grow tall and strong, just like us." Most evenings, we cooked dinner together in my kitchen. The room was always filled with the smell of good food and the sound of our voices. My quiet house was now a home full of life and joy. Before Henry, my world felt safe, but also a little gray. Now, everything was full of color. The sky seemed more blue, and the grass in my garden looked more green. I felt truly alive for the first time in many years. The 17-year difference in our age did not feel important when we were together. Our love was not a problem or a secret. It was clear and simple. It was real. 8, a happy future. One evening, the sky was a beautiful mix of orange and pink. Henry and I sat in my garden on our favorite bench. The flowers we planted together were growing tall. Their colors were bright in the evening light. It was our special place. We often did this after dinner, watching the sun go down. I felt completely comfortable. For the first time in many years, I was not worried about tomorrow. My life with Henry felt right. It felt natural, like breathing. Henry was quiet tonight. He looked at me with his warm eyes. He seemed a little nervous. I put my hand on his. "Is everything okay?" I asked him. He smiled, but it was a different kind of smile. He took a deep breath. "Brenda," he started. His voice was soft. He reached into his pocket and took out a small, dark blue box. My heart started to beat very fast. He opened the box. Inside, there was a simple, beautiful ring with a small, clear stone. It shined in the soft light of the sunset. "I love you more than anything," he said. "I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me?" Tears came to my eyes. They were happy tears. For so long, I thought my life was set. I thought I would always be alone. But this wonderful man came into my life and showed me what true happiness was. I looked at his hopeful face. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, Henry, I will." Henry's face was full of joy. He put the ring on my finger. It was a perfect fit. He laughed and picked me up, spinning me around in the garden. We were both laughing and crying at the same time. In that moment, nothing else mattered. The 17-year age difference was just a number. The whispers from the neighbors were just noise. We had each other, and that was our whole world. We sat and talked for hours about our future. We talked about traveling to see the ocean. We planned to get a dog and name him Sunny. We decided to have a small wedding in our garden with only a few good friends. We did not need a big party. We only needed our love. My quiet life was not quiet anymore. It was full of love, laughter, and hope. I was 41 years old, and I was going to marry a man who was 24. Some people would never understand, but I learned an important lesson. You cannot choose when or how you find love. It just happens. And when it is real, you must hold on to it. My future with Henry was bright, and I was ready for it.